Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today is, I think, March 11th, maybe the 10th, somewhere around there. It's Monday and it is about 52 degrees and gale force winds here in Baltimore. But I thought it was a perfect day to get out and look. The sky is bright and blue, the sun is shining, and it's a beautiful day to get out and look around the garden and see how spring is treating us here in Baltimore. Come with me, let's take a look around Harmony Hills in the middle of March of 2024. So like so many places around the world, we've had a really strange weather patterns this winter. We didn't get very cold at all. We had, I think, just a couple of droplings of snow, nothing major. And we've been really warm, and I think we're pretty far, like a couple of weeks ahead of the spring season here in Baltimore. And I know that around the country it's the same in a lot of other places as well. So the plants in the garden are a little bit ahead where they normally are, although not evenly ahead. Some things are more ahead than others. So the gardens look a little bit different blooming this season than they did last season. But let's get started. I'm not sure if this is going to be a really long in-depth video or if it's going to be a quick look. We're going to see. I'm starting the tour here in the courtyard garden. This is where we come up the steps off the driveway. We have this little area that is behind our house, but outside the fence, so the dogs don't get here. I am planning to make this into an herb garden area this season. So right now, there's not much to look at. We've got some creeping phlox here that will be blooming probably a couple of weeks, I'm guessing. We've got various kinds of spring bulbs in here. I think we have some hyacinths, some early cheer daffodils from a couple of years ago. We've got this is Alstroemeria patch that's growing. Back here, this is a bronze fennel. This is a rosemary. This is a clematis. This is a rose. What else do we have? We got some parsley that overwintered over here. We've got a strip of yarrow that I'll probably transplant out of here, maybe, I don't know. But things are coming along. We had some snowdrops over by these little pots and they have flowered and now their leaves are just being green. So this area is ripe for development, but we do have some spring bulbs coming on. These are Japanese anemones that I bought last year, and these are the only plants that I bought last year that I didn't get put into the ground. I kind of consider that a win. Also over here, this is a different section of the courtyard garden. This has a lot of different kinds of daffodils in here. We didn't plant any of these. These are all here from the previous owners, but I did plant this phlox over there. This is sweet spire. We got hostas in here that haven't come out yet. We had some snowdrops down along here. Got lamb's ear down there. This bed has Shasta daisies in it. It also has echinacea. And here's some more phlox that's been interspersed with wild onions, which I don't really care for, but what are you going to do? And then over along here, I have 3 strawberry sundae hydrangeas. No, vanilla strawberry hydrangeas. I need to prune those still, but they haven't really started budding out, just the tiniest little bit. So I still have time to prune those before they get too far along. And then on this pillar and up on this railing, I have a new dawn rose that I need to prune still. The reason I decided to do a garden tour today is because of this next area we're getting ready to come into. Let's open up this back gate and enter the backyard. And look at this. It is probably my favorite time of year here in this part of the garden, with all of these little tiny clusters of tete-a-tete miniature daffodils. I think we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 28 little clusters of tete-a-tete daffodils in this garden area. And I just think it's just the happiest looking entrance when you come in through the gate and then you see this after a long cold winter. Now last year the tete-a-tetes bloomed at the same time as my candy tuft. I have candy tuft clumps along the front of this wall all the way across. I also have candy tuft along the wall of the bottom tier of the tiered gardens. But this year the weather's weird, and so the daffodils are blooming ahead of the candy tuft. You can see I have just a couple of blossoms opening up on this one. Over here, same thing, just a couple getting ready to pop open. But most of the candy tuft are not blooming yet. But what is blooming? These tete-a-tetes. Oh my gosh, they are so sweet. They're just these little 6 to 8 inch tall daffodils. Their yellow cups are just the sweetest, prettiest looking thing. These look like they've been eaten by a rabbit maybe, or some bugs or whatever, but here's a beautiful intact one. Look at that. Oh, if that isn't the most cheerful sight, I don't know what is. We also have some allium coming along. And then over here, this is a Pieris japonica, or it's also called Japanese Andromeda. This one is in full bloom right now. Isn't that beautiful? Shades of pink. I think the leaves are a little bit too light green, so I need to get some fertilizer on this guy so that he can be happier. This is, I believe, the Katsura variety. I could be wrong about that. I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong. But I love the pink of the Japanese Andromeda compared to the yellow of the daffodils. And this candy tuft hopefully will bloom alongside these before these are all done, but we'll have to see about that. All of the hydrangeas in the garden have been trimmed back and are started to bud out. I'm just hoping we don't get any terrible, terrible freezes that will kill these off. I'll have to take care of them if we do, but we'll see. Yeah, the star of the show right now definitely are the daffodils. But if we go over to the side garden, the north side garden, we'll see some other stars of a different kind of show. And I apologize for the harshness of the sun and the shadows here, but I just have to share these plants with you. Check out the hellebores. Oh my, they're so beautiful. These are the original ones that I put in the garden the very first year we lived here. These are Brandywine and Pine Knot Select. This one is white with pink edging and a little bit of pink striations in it. This one's just a plain white, fades to cream. Down here is a pink frost. And it doesn't really like this spot because this is the same size it was when I put it in 7 years ago. So I might end up moving that one. But you can see all the little babies that I'll be able to harvest and grow on if I want to, or just throw them away. Here's a great white. This is a different variety than the white that's behind it. So that white and this white are different from each other. Not much else happening in this bed quite yet. Things haven't quite started to pop out, but over here I do have more hellebores. There's a pink frost. This one is called Flower Girl. This is part of the wedding party series. This one hasn't quite opened up yet. Next along, another pink frost. It says, although this one is double, so I don't think it's exactly the same. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful, isn't it? Ah, so pretty. And then down here is another great white. Again, this one is double, so it doesn't seem like it's exactly the same as the other great white, but I might have gotten them mixed up. I don't know. It's beautiful though. On the front side of the gate, I have two blushing bridesmaids, one there and one there. A little bit of a mess to clean up still, but those didn't really put on very many flowers this year. This one just put on one flower stalk. I'm hoping they'll get stronger and grow better next year. And then inside the gate again here on this side, I don't know this variety name. This was given to me by a friend. Her name is Dot. Dot, if you're watching, thank you. Your hellebores are doing very nicely here. And then back there are some more of the ones that Dot gave me. This is the real star of the show over here. This little clump of hellebores. Isn't this just so pretty? I wish the shadows weren't so harsh, but oh my gosh. Right here in front, we've got this single pink one. And look at all of her babies. And then behind her, we've got a double pink one. She's short and she's tall, so I think I'm gonna swap their relative positions. And then here's another double one that's a little bit darker maroon. I think this one is Winter Plum, not sure. And then here's another taller, different pink one. So I think these are both Pink Frost, and I think these are both Winter Plum. I could be wrong about that though, and so I don't know if this is normal to have this much variation in them. or if somehow the labels got messed up. I do think variation is normal, but I don't know. Look, there's a bee pollinating these flowers, finding his dinner. So I'm really super happy with this particular clump of 4 different plants of hellebore. So I also want to share with you an update on my hellebore hill that I planted over here in February or March of 2021. I had a bunch of hellebore babies that I had taken out from under the other ones. And so I planted some of them out here. And you can see they've all taken, and now they're all big enough to have big flowers on them. I haven't cleaned up last year's foliage around these just because they're out on the woodland hill. I could do that, but I'm loving the way that they're starting to fill in here, and I believe they're starting to multiply. Yes, this is a hellebore baby right here. So hopefully this will be filled in, and that all of this erosion will be controlled by something so beautiful. And deer don't eat them, rabbits don't eat them. So it's a really great solution for an erosion dry shade situation, which is what this is. And then let's go up the driveway and look on the driveway side. I do have this perennial vinca in here, which honestly, I do love the purple flowers at this time of year. I think they're so gorgeous. But this is an invasive species in Maryland. So we're working on taking this out, but I'm taking it out only if I have something to replace it with, because I learned the hard way that you'll just have erosion if you take it out before you're ready to replant. So for now, we're enjoying the purple flowers, and they look especially pretty with the yellow of the daffodils. But we're here to look at these hellebores. Now, I think I put about 45 hellebore plants on this hill 3 seasons ago, and they were all first-year babies 3 seasons ago. But you can see all the plants have taken. I've got this swath of hellebores coming along here up to there, and it's just beautiful. I love, love, love the way these are looking. Some of these are pink edges with some striping. Some of them are pure white, and some of them are more mottled. Some of them just have different coloring, but they're all beautiful. So I'm very pleased with the way the hellebores have worked, and I'm going to continue to put hellebores onto this hill. Even though they're not native, even though they can spread, they generally spread right underneath themselves, and I think it's worth it to keep this hill from being eroded away. This is where we have already taken off most of the vinca and most of the English ivy that was once choking this entire hill. My husband has done all that work. He's taken all the vinca and the English ivy out of here up to about right here. And so then you can see from here over, still needs to be worked on, but it can be done, but it's slow work. kind of back to where we started. The driveway hill has a lot of work still to be done on it. This is an area, another example of where we took out the vinca and the English ivy in this spot right here and didn't really replace it with anything. So this has been eroding and the ivy has been coming back. So I did put some ajuga in here. It looks like it did take, so hopefully the ajuga will be able to hold this hill. Otherwise, I'm going to start looking for some native ground covers to put on this driveway hill so that we can get rid of all of these invasive species. We got the daylilies here, the orange ditch lilies, and we've got the vinca and the ivy. So, but here's another spot up here where we took it out without replacing it, and so we just have full of chickweed and other weeds like that. So anyway, we do have some foxgloves gonna bloom this spring against the fence up there, and I do have some ajuga that did take here. I'm hoping to keep that going. Let's take a quick peek down in the bottom of the garden, look at the tiers, look at the border, and then down in the lower beds. I've cleaned up the garden up here, the vegetable garden. I still have some, this is arugula, some spinach and some kale and some cabbages in here, and tons of wild onions, but not much else. I do have some tulips that are trying to return, but they probably won't because they don't really naturalize here very well. So this is mostly ready to plant for the spring. I'll probably, well, Lulu's going to plant something maybe. I'll probably cover with some new compost and fertilizer and things like that when it's time to put veggies in. Let's see. I do have the start of a daffodil row down this border. I put these in 2 years ago. This is their second spring blooming. I meant to put some more in last fall, didn't get to it. But that's the vision for down along here. Daffodils kind of all along here. Things are holding in. I've been in here to clean up and trim back and do pruning and things, but I haven't really done much else. What's there good to look at? Hannah, what do you see? Strawberries are still under their leaf mulch. I haven't pulled the strawberries out yet. I have some foxgloves there that are returning from last year and some bachelor button foliage there, but I don't see any larkspur that has returned, so maybe none of it did. Too many leaves covering maybe. And then this is my perennial bed. I have lots of iris in here that are coming back. Juliet Rose right here, kind of barely holding on, and then various other things, but not much to speak of in here. But I do want to share down this way under the arbor. I've put the Nellie Moser clematis up onto the arbor and pruned it a little bit, took off some dead wood and got it going up over. And then over here on this side, I tied up the Zephyrine Druin canes, and I've got them going up and over as well. I still haven't moved the can rose, but that is on my list of things to do here. It's too wild and crazy for this spot, so I need to find somewhere else for that. I also need to take care of this pyracantha that I was intending to train onto the fence, but it got away from me, so I need to get that in check. I've pruned out and thinned out my twist and shout hydrangeas, so they're looking full of buds right now. I also do have a couple of different ones that have layered under the soil that I'll be able to dig out and give away to friends and family. And then down in this area, this is our grass path that goes back over to that patio. This bed here is going to be mostly shrubs or low maintenance perennials. And right now I have one Scarlet O'Hara Pieris in here. This inkberry died, so I'm going to take that out, and then that sedum can be moved. So then I'm going to put one, maybe two more of the Scarlet O'Hara Pieris along here. Now the tags say that they only get 3x2, but the online sources say more like 10x5. So I think having 1, 2, 3 of them right along here will be a nice thing. Let's see. Gold Dessacuba doing well. Oh, look, I have some more hellebores down here as well. And they're doing really nicely. Yacuba actually has a berry on it. Several. I didn't even know it did that. These plants are they just had their second birthday. So this will be their third summer, and they've grown a lot since I put them in. So that's good. Hoping to have a hedge of that here for this corner, and then we'll have the Pieris over on this corner. I also do have another pyracantha here that is the twin to that one. It's just 2 years younger. So I'm going to train them both to cover the fence. But I'm going to do a better job of it. I'm going to just whack that one way back, give it a hard prune, and start over training that one, and get started training this one this year. Over on this side, the Leucothui that I put there last year is doing well, and so are the Heucheras. I have one kind of Heuchera there and a different kind here, and I don't remember the names, I'm sorry. But they're both pinkish reddish colored. They're just beginning to come back. And then this Chinese snowball viburnum is really wild and crazy. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up having to come out because it's just too big for this space. Should have thought of that when I put it in, but you live and learn, right? But we are going to have a lot of snowballs on it this year. It's going to be covered, so it'll be beautiful while it's here. And then up on that side, it's all right. I've cleaned out some things. I've got some hydrangeas in there, and the red twig dogwoods are still in there. There's an azalea that's struggling along. Not much to speak of back on that side. And this edge of the patio needs some work, but this is what we look like right now. The grass is coming in nice and green. So are the wild onions, as always. And then this border needs further development. It's not much to look at right now. So that's what's happening here at Harmony Hills Home and Garden. It's the middle of March. Things are starting to wake up. Some areas of the garden are much more beautiful to look at than others. Like this daffodil garden. I'm just so happy with it. Other things are coming along in their own good time. How are you doing? How's your garden? Is it waking up? Where do you live? Are you in the warm season already, or is it still winter where you are? I hope wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope I'll see you again in another video real soon. Thanks so much for joining along. Take care. Bye-bye.